Tonight, we're delving into a truly chilling corner of North American folklore, a legend steeped in unique cultural history and genuine terror. We're talking about the Boo Hag. This isn't your typical ghost story. It's a tale of a skin-shedding entity, an energy vampire that preys on the sleeping, rooted deeply in the rich spiritual traditions of the Gullah Geechee people of the American Lowcountry, a place I used to vacation with my family every year when I was a teenager. So if you've ever woken up feeling utterly drained, heavy, or unable to move, you might just recognize the chilling symptoms of a Boo Hag encounter. And we're diving into this terrifying legend only on today's episode of The Weekly Strange. Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Weekly Strange. I'm your host, John F. Murs, author, actor, adventurer. Now, before we begin, I wanted to let you all know, because you probably haven't heard me say this enough already, that for the month of October, I am giving you a video every single day called The Daily Strange, focused on cryptids, supernatural, monsters, all that good stuff. So be sure to come back to the channel each and every day to check out the latest videos. They drop at midnight each day. And now that we're halfway, more or less, through the month, hopefully you've been enjoying them. Now, to truly understand the Boo Hag, we must first understand its origins. The legend is a vital part of the folklore of the Gullah Geechee people. These are the descendants of West Africans who were enslaved and brought to the coastal regions and sea islands of South Carolina and Georgia, a region known as the Lowcountry. Due to their relative isolation on these islands and plantations, the Gullah Geechee were able to preserve an extraordinary amount of their West African linguistic, cultural, and spiritual heritage, more so than many other African American communities. They blended these traditions with New World influences, giving rise to unique forms of folk magic, spirituality, and storytelling, often referred to as hoodoo. Now, I used to vacation at Hilton Head Island long before it was super popular and they built that enormous causeway spanning from the mainland. And next door to Hilton Head is Defusky Island, which, when I was there, used to still have maybe one car on the entire island. And the locals didn't even want their pictures taken because they believed it meant the camera had captured their soul. It's an area steeped in a deep folklore and mythology. In Gullah, which is the language that they speak, terminology, a Boo Hag is a type of haint, a malevolent ghost or spirit. Haints are generally believed to be the restless spirits of individuals who lived wicked lives and upon death became tormenting entities unable to find peace. These spirits, or haints, are often associated with sickness, misfortune, and, in the case of the Boo Hag, the literal draining of life. The folklore around the Boo Hag reflects a synthesis of African beliefs concerning malevolent spirits and succubi, combined with the harsh realities and fears of isolation and vulnerability experienced during and after slavery. It speaks to the terror of having one's energy stolen, a metaphor, perhaps, for the systematic theft of labor and spirit, but also a very literal, visceral fear of nocturnal assault. What makes the Boo Hag so distinctly terrifying is its unique biology, or lack thereof. Its most infamous trait is its ability to shed its skin at night. During the day, a Boo Hag can walk among us. It can appear as a normal human, perhaps someone you know, someone unremarkable in the community. This ability to blend in makes it exceptionally insidious, as you might never suspect the person you spoke to during the day is the very entity that stalks your sleep at night. But when darkness falls and its predatory instincts take over, the Boo Hag literally slips out of its human skin, leaving it behind like a discarded garment in a hidden place, perhaps under a bed, in a closet, or some other secluded spot. Without its human skin, the Boo Hag's true form is revealed, and it is horrifying. It's described as a raw, red, skinless humanoid. Imagine flesh exposed and throbbing with blue, visible veins pulsing beneath the surface. It often has no distinguishing facial features beyond two glowing eyes or sometimes a gaping mouth. This grotesque, denuded form is how it travels through the night, a silent, horrifying specter of exposed muscle and sinew. This isn't a creature that hides in the shadows. Its very being is the horror. Its primary goal is sinister, to drain the life force from a sleeping victim. The Boo Hag is an energy vampire. It needs this soul force or breath to sustain itself, to live, and to continue its malevolent existence. It doesn't need blood like a traditional vampire. It needs your very essence. Once it has targeted a victim, it is incredibly stealthy. Boo Hags are said to be able to enter homes through impossibly small openings, tiny cracks in the wall, keyholes, small gaps under doors, or even open windows. Once inside, it glides silently to the victim's bedside. Then comes the most harrowing part. The Boo Hag will ride its victim. It will settle upon the sleeping person's chest, pressing down with immense weight, and begin to suck their breath and energy directly through their pores. The victim often wakes up during this process, finding themselves utterly paralyzed, unable to move, speak, or cry out. They feel an immense pressure on their chest, a sense of suffocation, and often experience terrifying hallucinations or nightmares. This specific experience is considered by many to be a folk explanation for sleep paralysis, which is a very real neurological phenomenon where a person wakes up but is temporarily unable to move or speak, often accompanied by vivid, terrifying, hypnagogic or hypnopompic hallucinations. For the Gullah Geechee, this isn't a neurological glitch, it's a Boo Hag. Waking up from such an encounter leaves the victim feeling profoundly exhausted, as if they haven't slept at all, with aching muscles and a profound sense of dread. That's pretty much every morning for me right now. I'm just kidding. Like many creatures of the darkness, the Boo Hag has a critical vulnerability: sunlight. It must return to its shed skin and put it back on before the first rays of dawn touch it. If the sun catches the Boo Hag in its skinless form, it will be instantly destroyed, a horrifying, shriveled husk. This race against the sun adds a powerful element of urgency to its nocturnal activities and provides a potential window for human intervention. Given the terrifying nature of the Boo Hag, it's no surprise that the Gullah Geechee people developed ingenious and spiritually potent methods to protect themselves and their homes. These folk remedies aren't just superstitious. They are deeply ingrained cultural practices designed to safeguard against this specific threat. And here they are in random order. The counting compulsion. This is perhaps the most famous defense. The Boo Hag is believed to have an obsessive compulsive need to count. If it encounters a collection of many small objects, it apparently cannot resist the urge to stop and count every single one. So if you had a bunch of jacks laying around, you could throw those out as a way to make it stop and have to count every single one. One common method is to leave a broom with many bristles, a colander, or a sieve on the floor near the bed or by the door. The Boo Hag, entering the home, will encounter this object and be compelled to count every single bristle or hole. This tedious task is meant to delay the Boo Hag until the sun rises, trapping it outside its skin and destroying it. Third method is rice or salt. Similarly, scattering a handful of rice, salt, or even grits on the floor serves the same purpose. The hag would have to count every single grain, ensuring it runs out of time before dawn. Now, why does this work? Well, the belief taps into ancient African folklore where certain spirits or entities are vulnerable to counting or order rituals. And one of the other defenses is Haint Blue paint. This is a truly iconic and visually striking defense still seen in the Lowcountry today. Can confirm. It's a specific shade of light blue, often derived from the indigo plant, painted on porch ceilings, window frames, and door frames. The theory behind this is that, well, there are a couple of theories as to its effectiveness. One is that the color mimics the sky or the surface of the water. The Boo Hag, flying in its skinless form, will approach the house and see the blue paint, believing it to be a body of water or the open sky. This either confuses it, making it believe it cannot cross the water, or tricks it into thinking it's already exposed to the sky, deterring it from entering the home because it fears the rising sun. And another theory of why this works is that some people believe the blue color is associated with protective spirits, or that it simply creates an illusion that makes the house appear as empty space or water, camouflaging it from the Boo Hag's malevolent gaze. And going back to salt or pepper, a simpler yet potent defense involves salt and pepper, applied by sprinkling a mix of salt and pepper around the room, or more specifically, on the spot where the Boo Hag has supposedly shed its skin, is believed to destroy its skin. Without this skin, the hag is doomed to destruction by the rising sun, preventing it from ever reforming. Now remember, these practices are not merely superstitions. They are culturally rich expressions of protection and resilience, passed down through generations, embodying the unique spiritual landscape of the Gullah Geechee people. So are there any recent incidents of Boo Hag sightings? Well, unlike cryptids that might leave physical evidence, hopefully, a Boo Hag encounter is intensely personal and psychological, making hard evidence elusive. However, the experience it describes, that terrifying feeling of being ridden while you sleep, is something countless people report even today. Sleep paralysis stories, in the age of the internet, forums and social media are absolutely filled with them. While most people attribute it to science, those familiar with the Boo Hag legend immediately recognize the symptoms: waking up, unable to move, feeling a crushing weight on the chest, difficulty breathing, and a terrifying sense of a malevolent presence in the room. Not to mention a nihilistic expression of the current state of reality. No, not that last one. That was only for me. Many describe a feeling of something sucking their breath or energy. For those who grew up with the Boo Hag lore, this isn't just a neurological phenomenon, it's a direct encounter. These modern testimonies, even if scientifically explained, amplify the spooky personal dread that the Boo Hag embodies. In recent years have seen a renewed interest in Gullah Geechee culture, including its folklore. Documentaries, books, and cultural festivals continue to share these stories, ensuring that the Boo Hag remains a chillingly present figure. This cultural re-emphasis ensures the stories are not forgotten, and with them, the accompanying fears. The Lowcountry itself, with its ancient live oaks draped in Spanish moss, its silent winding waterways, and its deep dark nights, provides a perfect atmospheric backdrop for the Boo Hag legend. The very landscape seems to whisper tales of things that shed their skin and prey on the unsuspecting. When you're in these misty, quiet places, it's easy to feel the weight of history and the lingering presence of old fears. The sheer beauty and historical weight of the region only amplifies the unsettling nature of a hidden, skinless entity. While a scientist might offer a neurobiological explanation for sleep paralysis, the Gullah Geechee have a far more ancient, culturally resonant, and frankly terrifying answer: the Boo Hag. This creature personifies a very real, human fear of vulnerability during sleep and the unseen forces that might seek to drain us, not just physically, but spiritually. The fact that the story endures and that the protective measures are still used speaks volumes about the power of this legend. The Boo Hag is more than just a scary story. It's a profound cultural narrative. It's a testament to the resilience of the Gullah Geechee people who, in the face of unspeakable hardship, forged a rich spiritual world that both explained the inexplicable and provided tools for protection. It reminds us that fear, especially the fear of what preys on us when we are most vulnerable, is universal. Whether it's a scientific phenomenon like sleep paralysis or a literal skin-shedding monster, the feeling of being utterly helpless in the dark against an unseen force is one of humanity's deepest terrors. The Boo Hag teaches us to be vigilant, to honor our protective traditions, and to perhaps leave a broom by the door just in case. Because in the quiet hours of the night, when the world sleeps, something may be stirring, shedding its skin, and seeking to steal your very breath. Okay, that's going to do it for this episode of The Weekly Strange. If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new uploads. And it literally just took me 3 takes to get that done properly. If you really like the content I'm creating, please consider joining the channel as a paid member, and you get access to some pretty cool perks. I will see you all in just a few days with another episode of The Weekly Strange, and don't forget to come back every single day for new episodes of The Daily Strange. Until then, have a fantastic night. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Good night.